Hello, my name's Dale Hawthorne, and welcome back to my channel. If you're coming back or if you're first time, I hope you find content here that interests you and which helps you in your life. So, this I hope this is going to be brief. Just briefly talk about C.S. Lewis and his guidance for what we'll call manly self-control, just so that we understand that. Um, and I'm trying to make this in a way which can deal with YouTube guidance. So we could talk about manly self-control in terms of abstinence from being obsessed with spicy pictures, and a lot of stimulation. We used to call back in driver's ed the simulator, the stimulator. But before we go on, please like and subscribe. You might find some other things here, but I just want to make sure that some of these things are known. Um, there's a meme which is going around right now when you invite Jesus into your heart, but he sees what's inside there, and it shows a look of astonishment there. And yeah, that is a little statue. That's not really Jesus, but of course, we don't know what his facial expression would be. But yeah, there are many things often in our hearts which are things which we'd be ashamed of, which we'd be ashamed to let public, but certainly the Lord knows what's there. So C.S. Lewis definitely did have problems over his lifetime before his marriage. Definitely, he did with spicy pictures and stimulating um, stimulating himself from that, perhaps. And he did experience victory for it too. You do find some things in his writings and most of all in his letters, but there's a reference very early in one of his early um, works, The Pilgrim Regress. This is happens about page 2930, where he talks about brown girls, and he talks about and going to an island, one of pleasure, and then finding one, and one brown girl leads to another brown girl, and all over the place. And then you do find it also in his, you know, this was Pilgrim's Regress. This is The Great Divorce. You do find it in this edition around page 90, chapter 11, where he talks about the transformation, the problem where an angel offers around page 99 to kill the lust, to kill the problem, to transform it, and it becomes transformed, and he it's finally transformed, and it's transformed into uh, um, mighty stallion, lizard into a stallion, and it is a tremendous thing. And oh yeah, you can actually find the Great Divorce on stage at times too. So um, again, whole chapter 11 conversation starts around page 99, and in his own letters, um, Jesus, C.S. Lewis, C.S. Lewis did deal with others on this kind of a pastoral care. People would write to him with different problems that they had, and he would try to help them. And he talks about how the real evil of self-stimulation, right here, this quotation right here, sends man back into the person of himself to keep a harem of imaginary brides, and his harem, once admitted, works against his ever getting out and really uniting with the real woman. Among those shadowy brides he is always adored, always a perfect lover, and no demand is made on his unselfishness, no mortification ever imposed on his vanity. In the end, they merely become the medium through which he increasingly adores himself. So the focus there really becomes the person using the imagination. And he did talk about how he overcame them. He there was victory that he experienced in his life, and he did say that one of the blessings he owed to his conversion. And one of his letters, you said right here, that sort of thought can fairly easily uh, can be fairly easily overcome by prayer and fasting. Sometimes fasting, yeah, I'm not sure that it'd be a long time, maybe a meal or two, maybe a day of fasting, take the whole time for a day with the Lord in fasting. But yeah, um, this is applying to prayer, asking God to help us deal with that if that is a problem. And that really comes back to seeking the grace of God to be able to live in this life, as it says here in the Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace that we may find mercy, may receive mercy, and find grace to help in time of need. So for whatever time of need we have, drawing near, asking for that time, for His grace is sufficient for us. And I'll put the quote um, right here, Hebrews 4:16 on in the comments, and also um, so you know prayer and fasting, coming to prayer, and there is another thing which I bring up here to say that there may be spiritual elements here. I think that very definitely there is a demonic element here, demonic element to this temptation. Doesn't mean you're possessed. It means that you're being tempted just like anyone else. And there's a I came across this graphic not too long ago. Are alien creatures using your body while you were asleep? While you sleep, and yeah, at nighttime you may find yourself being tempted in these ways, but really come back to it. Just find grace to help in time of need. And C.S. Lewis does have another quote here in his essay Equality in the book Private Concerns. For spiritual nature, like bodily nature, will be served. Deny it food, it will gobble poison. So coming back to the Lord, coming back to um, simply confessing, asking for grace, and there is a whole thing here which is comparable here. I'll put a link in the end cards. Neil Anderson's Steps to Freedom in Christ, and it's compatible with what Lewis is talking about with the way to freedom. There'll be some. I'll put the link in the comments too, and something which I don't think I've ever found in any other source, but simply pray for the women in the images and the memories. Pray for their salvation. Pray for their marriages, marriageability. And I do have a whole link on how to pray for someone who salvation and so on. Pray for them. That limit brings them out of the realm of fantasy into real people who have real spiritual needs. Pray for them. I don't know that I do this repeatedly, but when the image comes up, pray for the image to be removed and pray for the person who is the source of the image. And I think you may find that the images start to disappear if you pray for the real person. They pass out of the realm of fantasy and imagination to understanding a real person and the real needs there. Some people think that accountability groups are really helpful. I'm not sure. My experience has been that a lot of small groups, there's been a back door to the gossip, to the rumor mill, so that you really need to make sure that that gossip gets tamped down upon if they are happening there. So, and sometimes people may seem to deliberately go in and try to stimulate others and share their sins with others. So, I'll be putting a link there to the problems with accountability groups, but maybe some people can have find help there. So hopefully this is brief. Hopefully this is helpful and point you to some other things that may be helpful. And if you're seeking to have victory in here, there is a whole movement now to get away from the spicy pictures and so on. So I thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Just dropping this here for your help, and I hope it helps.